Do you work in a project management office and you're desperate for some more project managers? Or perhaps you are leading a team of project managers, but you're not in an official PMO, and you want to put the case together for some more staff. I'm Elizabeth Harrion, I'm an author, blogger and project management trainer, and I'm going to share some tips in this video about how you can put together a proposal for getting more staff in your projects. So there's two different types of staff that would normally fall within a PMO. The sort of back office PMO support facilitative staff who organise the processes and run the PMO. And then you have the delivery teams. So today I'm talking about the delivery team people. You've got a lot of portfolio of projects, you've got a large range of things that you want people to do, and you need to be able to staff those projects. So how can you staff them if you haven't got enough people to do the work? That's what we're talking about. So they might not report directly into the PMO, but you as the PMO team or someone who oversees projects, whatever that is called in your organisation, may well have identified that there is more work coming in, more demand for projects than people in the organisation or in your direct team who have the capacity to lead that work. So that's something to start thinking about. How do you quantify that and turn that into a measure that equates to a full-time equivalent, one or more headcount resources? So you need to track the demand for the work. The challenge we find is that project work has peaks and troughs, and often projects have always projects have an end. And I find that people are reluctant to invest in project delivery staff, project managers, or program managers, because they know the work is going to end and they don't want to bring on a full-time member of staff with the anticipation that they will then have to make that person redundant in a year, 2 years' time, with all of the drama and HR implications that that brings. However, in my experience, people who have worried about that have never seen those worries come true, because if you are a vibrant, thriving organisation, there will always be something that a willing project manager can do. So there will always be new levels of change, and there is always attrition anyway. So you may well find other people in the team leave because they've secured new roles or just have moved on to a different position within the firm. So I think you should address that point and say there will be a pipeline of work for the foreseeable future, plus with our attrition rate, it will make sense that we recruit 2 or 3 or however many project managers on a permanent basis. Of course, if you do only have a specific demand for a contract perspective, then I think putting the case together for contract resource is much easier, and the contract staffing level can be written into the business case of the project that they will be working on. So that's kind of a different conversation, but also still relevant to have. But for permanent staff, address the worry about the fact that the department will be increasing in size, because there will be permanently the level of work to do that. So you can also think about, are they going to be working on one project? Are they dedicated to a particular project that is going to be running for a substantive length of time, in which case their costs could be picked up by that project, at least for the short term, and then they could move into a permanent role or a different type of permanent role a bit later on. So I think you've got to weigh up what's the cost to the business for getting the person, what are they going to be working on, and the impact of strategy to the strategy if these projects are not delivered. Because the flip side of not having the people to do it is higher attrition, losing your best people already because they're overworked and overstretched with higher demands on what they're expected to do, and also not being able to deliver the strategic projects. So if you've got business cases coming into the PMO for fantastic initiatives that everybody supports, but there just isn't the bodies to do it, then you've got to weigh up, is it really worth putting this project on hold for potentially 6 to 12 months, waiting for a project manager to be available? Because it's a great initiative and we could be launching this product, making more money, improving staff satisfaction, whatever it is, faster, getting us faster and closer to our goals if we invested in one or more new delivery people. So your proposal needs to say why you need the person, what they're going to be working on, short term and also long term, proving that there is a role for them in the foreseeable future, when you want them to start, if it's a staggered start, perhaps if you've got lots of different people, if you're putting a proposal together for more than one person, you may well say you need one at this time, you need one in another 3 months. However, there's also value in running their onboarding effectively together, so it might be better to bring people on board and you can do all of your training in one go that way for new starters, and they're not then taking experienced staff out of the business over a longer period of time to try to upskill the new starters. You want to describe the role they're going to carry out and what level they're going to be, and what you want to pay them, obviously. And that's going to depend on who they are. So you might well find that you You don't need an experienced project manager with 15, 20 years experience and all the certifications. You might be able to just get away with a project coordinator. So it very much depends on the level of work that you're expecting them to do and how you're expecting them to contribute to the organisation. The other thing to factor in is how you see their career progressing in the future. So most companies, I've not really seen companies do this, but you might want to look at the cost of that person if you include their training, but also the benefit that they can bring over a longer period of time. You might also find that if you're putting your financial proposal for more staff together, that there is a value in looking at, instead of a very expensive high performing member of staff, could we achieve something similar with 2 more low paid staff that we then support through training and development to get them to where we need them to be. So consider what you need and then consider what you could get away with asking for. Put your proposal together and justify, with all of those things I've talked about, the way that you could deliver strategy more effectively if you have more people to work on those projects. And I will cross my fingers that you get your additional resources. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.